Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's continue our game of The Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure running on Nintendo Switch. The conference is finally here. I don't know about you, but I can feel the tension in the air. Rooms here in the West Wing are reserved for the visiting dignitaries from Remiferia, Liberal, and Calvard. For their privacy, we've limited patrols on this floor to only what's necessary. This may sound flawed, but do understand that our guests are heads of state. We're obligated to provide them a certain amount of confidentiality. Dignitaries are also being accompanied by their own personal escorts during any recesses, so security shouldn't be an issue. Oh, it's the stairs, okay. This is the room reserved for Prince Albert of Remiferia. From what I understand, the Grand Prince had an extensive knowledge of music. As it happens, I'm currently preparing Speaker McDowell's private record collection for him to enjoy. Sweep, sweep, phew, I'm dusting up a storm today. It's not a speck out of place in this potted plant now that I'm done with it. Time to double check for any spots I missed. Oh, you're those police officers they have on patrol, aren't you? That's us. Sorry if we're interrupting. Scree! Ah, you're Princess Claudia's little friend. Sieg, what? Ah, this must be the Gearfalk and Kia told me about. What are you doing, Vera? What are you doing? Scree. What's the little guy saying? Could you translate for us, Tio? He said, "Hello again, SSS, and nice to meet you, Tio." So he remembers us after all. Clever bird. Scree. I always remember the faces of Princess Claudia's friends. Well, I'm honored to hear you say that, Sieg. Great. Okay. I don't mean to make a fuss, but are these refreshments truly suitable for the president? I understand your concern, but the kitchen staff did their very best with them. I'm sure they'll be fine. Besides, they're patriotic in a way, don't you think? I suppose so, but surely there were better alternatives. Is there some kind of issue with the snacks they prepared? Those sweet buns have Michi's face on them. I would recognize them anywhere. They're Michi buns. I failed to see the problem here. Any other food stuff would be objectively inferior. Calm down, Tio. If nothing else, they'll give the president something to remember Crossbell by. The mayor and speaker will be sharing this room during the intermission. They have their work cut out for them representing Crossbell today, so I'm going to make this place as spick and span as I can. This spot gives you an amazing view of Crossbell. Every time I try to clean the windows, I end up getting distracted gazing out at the city instead. You're fired. I heard Prince Oliver is especially fond of the red roses, so I took the liberty of fetching some to decorate his room with. I hope he enjoys them. This room will be set aside for Prince Oliver during today's intermission. His Highness is quite renowned among the Imperial upper crust for his refined tastes and unique pursuits. Knowing that makes me want to pull all of my energy into preparing this room to his liking. Oh, well, troublemakers here, huh? Man, get a load of that view. Ain't it something, SSS? Lecter? What are you doing here? Ah, come on, guys. I'm part of His Excellency, the Chancellor's staff. Nothing unusual about me kicking it back in here. It's been a few weeks, guys and gals. We really gotta stop meeting like this. Even today of all days, you look like you don't have a care in the world. What he looks like is someone with something to hide. Hey, don't be like that, little lady. Only thing I'm hiding under all this charm is additional surplus charm. So, those glares on your faces tells me you guys have a boatload of questions you want to ask. That's right, we've learned a thing or two in the past 24 hours. Specifically about the Imperial government's actions, or lack thereof, regarding the trade conference. Alright then, I'm not exactly sure what you've learned. So let me shoot you a question of my own. Did you know that I'm working with the Noble faction to take Goliath Osborne's file? Or did you know I'm working with the Noble faction to take Goliath Osborne's life? What? Oh? Consider the source, everyone. Don't listen to a word he says. I ain't falling for this one again, pal. Well, that's much shame on you. Dang, don't ruin a guy's fun like that. 2 out of 6 ain't bad, but I was hoping for to string half of you along at least. I suppose we can just chalk that one up as a crude attempt at humor then. Listen, Lecter, because I need to make something clear. I don't care what your position or goal is. Ooh, that's what I go for going outside. That's what I get for going outside. Had to mow the lawn though. From where I'm standing, you're the type of person who knows how to take responsibility and get the job done. Owing to that, the most logical thing to do would be to cooperate with us, at least as far as security is concerned. Am I wrong? So, that's your play. I was only fooling around about that turncoat business just now, but you can't tell me it's totally impossible to picture, right? You gotta keep your eyes peeled at all times. Stay vigilant and see the signs. That's the key to a good writer finding inspiration, you know? I don't know any inspiring authors in this room, last time I checked. I've seen broken rifles shoot straighter than this guy. Sorry, but that's all the advice I can give you at the moment. You should keep an open mind about how things might play out. Expect the unexpected and all that jazz. That's real helpful, thanks. Even now I can't get a read on what he's thinking. I feel like I understand him even less than I did before. That was a long conversation of nothing. Let's see, we got elevators. I don't think I need to worry about the elevators. I think the first one's the stairs. Today's trade conference is of great interest to those of us from Remiferia. I'm hoping it leads to further economic development back home. You're the special support section, yes? I trust your patrols are going well today? We've been briefed on the possibility of terrorists targeting the conference. Every one of us is going to have to do our utmost to keep the attendees safe and secure. The conference appears to be going well. Better than a typical Republican Parliament session anyway. The President has to be relieved he's not dealing with the opposing party today. You must be that special support section they have on patrol duty. Thank you very much for your service. Let us know if there's anything we can do to make your job easier. Well, look who it is. It's been some time, SSS. How are your patrols going? Kilika. Ah, but where are my manners? The last time we met, it was under different circumstances. Allow me to reintroduce myself. Kilika Ruvan, aide to the President of the Calvert Republic, at your service. I have other responsibilities and titles, of course, but they're nothing worth mentioning. I suppose not. Would that include being an entertainment producer, like you mentioned before? It would, quite legitimately, in fact. It's just one of the many hats I don. There is, for that matter, a production company office back in the Republic as well. I see. In other words, there are no holes to poke in your story. She's a woman with a mask for every situation, and like any self-respecting spy, she knows how to use them. Hey, I like me a little mystique, what I wouldn't give to roleplay with her for just one night. That's one of those comments best kept to yourself, Randy. Can't you share your conversation with the class, you three? Oh, that reminds me. A little birdie tells me that a little birdie invited you aboard the Arcel yesterday. I beg your pardon? We should have expected you would already know. Geez, how do your sources even get this stuff? Settle down. It isn't anything to fret over. I am curious, though. Did you hear anything of note? It was only some friendly advice, nothing more. There's still plenty we have to figure out for ourselves. Is that right? Well, the same could be said of myself. What? I was merely thinking aloud. I can envision as many scenarios as I'd like, but that doesn't mean any of them will come to pass. With so many conflicting motives, there's still so much we don't know. That's the true nature of everyone working here today. Will today be the day the first domino falls, or is that juncture yet to come? Who can really say at this point in time? I think I understand what you're getting at, but still. Either way, she's right on the mirror. The only thing I'll add is that my role today is nothing more than that of a presidential guardian and keeper. In that sense, you could almost consider us as colleagues. Let's say we put aside our allegiances and simply watch how today unfolds. Beyond that, I have no further comments to make for the moment. Fair enough, thanks for the information. Obviously, we can't enter in the middle of the conference. Let's leave before we bother anyone. I mean, obviously. The conference is finally underway. If the terrorists really do attack, we can only guess what they'd be after. Regardless, we all have our assignments from the security command room, and you can be sure we're going to do them. Good afternoon, everyone. If it isn't the special support section, I take it you've been securing the conference floors for everyone. That's right, we managed to eke out an assignment as part of the security. So, this room is where they've stashed all the big guns, is it? Metaphorically speaking, of course. I bet every last person in here is a ranking officer. Correct. By all accounts, this room alone could prevent a major incident. Absolutely, not to mention Senior Captain Schwartz's ship. I've heard it's as fearsome as it is elegant. You're far too kind. It's nothing so extraordinary. That being said, no matter what happens, no one will lay so much as a finger on Her Highness. I swear it. Trust us to protect the conference room, and we will trust you to keep watch over the other floors. Of course, thank you. It's good to see you again, Major Vander. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary yet? Ah, hello there, SSS. It's hardly enough reason to let our guards down, but things have been calm thus far. Even the discourse of the conference itself has been civil. I'm admittedly impressed by how smoothly things are going. If the conference continues to go well, that will at least alleviate some of the stress on the prince's shoulders. Is everything okay, Major Vander? You seem to have a lot on your mind. I suppose you could say that. In a sense, we've only come this far because of the seeds he chose to sow. But never mind that. What matters most right now is our duties at the conference. I have a role to play as the prince's escort, just as I'm sure you all have your own, keeping the conference secure. Right, that much is for certain. Any loud noises you make in this room will carry over the next door and disrupt the conference. As such, we ask that you remain as quiet as possible while you're here. Really? I've been a nervous wreck all day, but I can't let this opportunity go to waste, especially after all Prince Oliver's done for the Academy. Most importantly, I'm here as a representative of Thor's. I've got to pull myself together and chip in. What's a girl in a school uniform doing here? I did hear that a student was going to be accompanying the Imperial government to the conference. Supposedly they're hoping to gain some real-world experience, being one of the best and brightest of their academy. That must be her. Damn, and here I was thinking someone couldn't just find a babysitter. Somehow I get the feeling she and I would have a lot to talk about. She has to have skipped a grade or two, right? Well, you never know. That girl just might be around the same age as you and Lloyd. She seems like she's got a good head on her shoulders, so I guess she could be older than she looks. It would be nice to get to know her, but we're a bit pressed for time today. Okay, well, that was some very drawn-out conversation. I wasn't expecting everybody to talk so much. If there's that much talking, I prefer his voice acting. You know. Honestly, I think most people would. I saw Vice Commissioner Pierre muttering to himself earlier. I hope he's alright. I'm a little worried about him, to be honest. I can't believe that woman would... No, I'm sure of it this time. Who's he mumbling about? Excuse us, Vice Commissioner Pierre? What? The Special Support Section. Oh, joy. Well, can I help you? If I may ask, Vice Commissioner, what are you doing here? Tio, you can't just... Oh, nothing. Nothing except my job as Director of the Security Command Room. Huh? Since when? Come to think of it, I do recall seeing your name sprinkled around in some of our materials. Ah, I see. I never read those, hence my confusion. You what? Here we go. We probably should have mentioned this to all of you sooner. Whoops. One question. If you're the head of security, why are you in here instead of the command room? Taking a little break. Please, Dudley has full authority while we're on site, with my permission, of course. You see, there's no reason for me to be in the command room. Too many leaders spoil the group, as it were. Think of it however you like. As your superior, I know what is best for the operation. Now then, you six just focus on not getting in Dudley's way. Yes, sir. Listen up. There's a press conference scheduled during the intermission. Make sure everything is in order, on the double. Understood. We'll get right on it. Ooh, so this is where they put the lunchboxes. Finally, I can grab a bite to eat. That's the first thing I find in the conference, is where the snacks are. That's the most important thing you'll find. Captain Grant, a pleasure to meet you. Hey, Grant, working hard. Good day, Sergeant Major Seeker. You as well, Sergeant Orlando. Though I suppose neither of you is technically part of the CGF at the moment. That's true, but my leave is only temporary. You can address me by whatever means you find easiest. I don't really care either way. Are you two the only representatives from the CGF on this floor? That we are. It is out of consideration for the dignitaries and members of the press, you might say. Part of the CGF's orders for this assignment is to stay out of their sight and minimize exposure, hence the bare-bones deployment. It sounds like the reasoning goes deeper than that. It does. Essentially, the decision is a way of tiptoeing around the two major powers. While the Guardian Force's weaponry is restricted by state law, it still functions the same as any other state military. We stay within budget, but a great deal of our funding goes towards maintaining and improving the arms we're allowed to have. Those expenditures would be an easy point of contention if they were out in the open during the conference. Out of sight, out of mind, in other words. Diplomacy can be one fickle mistress. All true, but try not to think about it too much. In the end, the both of us are only up here for appearance's sake. Still, there's an entire company of guardsmen, one story below, ready to mobilize at a moment's notice. Should something happen, they'll be on this floor within seconds, rest assured. Good to know. We'll be counting on you if it comes to that. Oh man, more people to talk to, God. We still haven't caught wind of any terrorist activity, but it's too optimistic to hope they called off their plans in the face of our flawless security. Would that be so lucky? There you all are. Have you noticed anything amiss? No, not yet. That monitor over there gives you a security overview of the entire tower at once, right? Correct. We have access to every critical area of the building in real time. That includes the conference rooms, of course. Thankfully, the tower is equipped with the most advanced security system on the continent. Numerous locations are beginning to incorporate video surveillance, as I recall, from the IBC to Orbital stores. I've never seen such a large quantity of them in one place, however. How many there are is only half of it. The fact that this technology even exists is amazing on its own. I wouldn't be surprised to see them used to survey areas outside the city someday. The CGS days might be numbered, Noah. I don't think it'll ever be that simple. How widespread they become is going to depend on the public's approval. Digressions aside, there's a more than welcome convenience for this assignment. Without any leads on the terrorist plans, all we can do is nip things in the bud at the moment they strike, whether right before or just after. That's why we have to keep our eyes sharp. We can't afford to overlook even the tiniest detail. If you come across anything suspicious, be sure to report it at once. Understood. The infrastructure we set up in here allows us to consolidate and parse every bit of security data that flows in, just like that. Plus, while the terminals here are limited, we're still able to access the database at CPD headquarters. Should the need arise, we'll have detailed info on any suspicious characters available at our fingertips. Oh, everybody talks so much! Watching the building through this monitor, you can tell everybody on security detail is on extra high alert. Things would be a lot simpler if our fears about the terrorists turned out to be unfounded, wouldn't they? We're accustomed to protecting government property and dignitaries alike. Whether it's the anniversary festival or this international conference, heading large-scale events is all part of the job. I like the fact that there's a lot of dialogue here, but it's just, man, reading it gets so tiresome. This waiting room is for members of the press for each participating country. General policy forbids them from exiting while the conference is in session. They should all be accounted for in there. Feel free to enter if there's anything you need to confirm. I mean, I don't want to. It just means I have to have more people that freaking talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Good to see you, SSS. Hey, if it ain't Lloyd and Company. Feels like we've been waiting forever for this trade conference to kick off, doesn't it? It's the main event of all main events. Crossbell's leadership and representatives from 4 nearby countries and a bonanza of international discourse. And of course, a big to-do like this demands a prime-time venue, Orcus Tower, the continent's first true skyscraper. Can you feel it? The nerves in the air? I'm so tense that my heart's about to jump out of my chest. I definitely see the tension, but honestly, you don't look the least bit nervous to me. I suspect the nerves are coming less from her and more from her future prospective victims/interviewees. Tio, you're back, and you brought that trademark snark with you too. I'll admit I'm not so much anxious as I am giddy, but enough of that. There's someone I want to introduce to you. Meet Noticia. Noticia, this is the special support section. Nice to meet you. I've seen you all in the papers before. You look like an even finer team in person. I'm Noticia, a reporter from the Liberal News. Thanks for keeping us all safe for the day. Happy to be of service. I've heard of the Liberal News Service. It's the largest publication in the kingdom. That's right. They've also been getting a lot of attention in the journalism world for another reason. 2 of their own reporters were awarded the Pulitzer Prize last year. The Pulitzer Prize? If I remember correctly, they give that to the most outstanding journalists on the continent each year. That's the one. Anyway, the latest recipients are a duo by the names of Neil Burns and Dorothy Hyatt. Neil's our ace reporter and Dorothy's a brilliant camerawoman. So the kingdom took home the crown last year, huh? 2 guesses as to what the prize-winning story was. Could it have been about the strange phenomenon that happened in Liberal around that time? Right again. Though technically, everything they covered leading up to the incident factored into the decision too. I see. They sound very impressive. Yeah, I guess so, but that doesn't mean we'll just lie down and let them outshine us. It's every reporter's dream to win the Pulitzer Prize at least once in their career. And if you want to win the next one, then you'd better get the best scoop you can each and every day, especially this one. You got that, Rains? We can't let any of these news hounds get the jump on us. Yes, ma'am. If Grace gets any more fired up, the orbital sprinkler system might go off. Let's hope she can behave herself at least. I'm Thompson from the Ardent Press. Pleasure to meet you. You're a photographer with the Tyrell Times, if I'm not mistaken. That's right, but I'm still only a rookie. You said Art and Press, right? That means you're from Remiferia. We may be from different countries, but we're not competitors today. I'm looking forward to working with you. Likewise. Here's hoping we all get the story we're looking for. I haven't heard too many positive remarks about the Crossbell police in the past. However, seeing how tight the building security is, I'm getting the exact opposite impression today. The only conclusion I can come to is the CPD shortcomings are a result of their structure, not their people. This trade conference is truly extraordinary. I've never covered anything like this before. Conferences between any two of these countries aren't uncommon, but between Crossbell and its 4 neighboring nations, that's unheard of. Not to mention both Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith are attending in person rather than sending surrogates. And this is essentially the first time these two men have ever met face to face. Talk about history in the making. It's unprecedented to say the least. Reporters from every participating nation have gathered for the sake of covering this day, you and your Imperial Chronicle colleagues included. Must say, though, Chancellor Osborne is even more intimidating in person. It truly puts this particular brand of leadership into perspective. A simple photo could never hope to capture that. That's right, Harn. Clear days, you can see it standing tall in the distance. As a matter of fact, it's actually given Alter's tourism industry a slight boost, almost as if it's a second-hand landmark. Already, Orcus Tower is impacting the economies of multiple countries at once. So I take it Niall and Dorothy could make it? That's right, they're on assignment in Calvard, so they wouldn't have gotten here in time. Things are a little touch and go over there right now. Yeah, I bet. It's got something to do with those radical nationalists they've got running around, right? Word is the Republican government is concerned about them making a move during the trade conference. Well, look at you. Guess that press pass of yours isn't just for show, is it? I've heard the same, though there's no evidence of their involvement yet. So Grace managed to dig that info up too, huh? No sense worrying about how. We've got our own job to take care of. Dorothy Hyatt is the Liberal News Service's photojournalist extraordinaire. Her photos are both remarkably vivid and captivating beyond belief. As a photographer myself, I'd love the opportunity to speak with her someday. Oh, I'd love you guys to just shut up for a while.
これで一通り回ったか。今のところは特に問題なさそうですね。ああ、この調子でもう一度見て回るとしようぜ。そうね。会議の方はどうなっているのかしら。そうだな。市長や議長が頑張っているとは思うけど。問題は鉄血宰相にロックスミス大統領ですか。まあ、休憩時間になったら誰かに聞けばいいんじゃない？
Same day, 3:05 p.m. The trade conference finally reached its halfway point. Before the intermission officially began, the heads of state held a brief press conference for the media. Please be voice acting. Don't make me talk again. Meanwhile, Lloyd and the others took the opportunity to speak to Mr. Grimwood, who started his break ahead of the others.
なるほど。そんな事情で君たちも警備に参加したのか。
ええ、正直気休め程度にしかなっていないかもしれませんが。
いやいや、市長暗殺未遂事件で大金星を挙げた君たちだ。この場にいてくれるだけでも私としては非常に心強いよ。
そう言っていただけると。ありがたいっすね。それで先生、会議の方はどうなんですか？さほど荒れた雰囲気は感じられませんでしたが。
ああ、今のところは順調だよ。いくつかの通商協定には各国の同意も得られたし、ディーター市長の呼びかけも無駄にならなかったようだね。
そうですか。ちょっと安心ですね。しかし今のところってことは何か懸念でもあるのかな。そうなんですか。
オブザーバーである私の口から言うのもなんだが、前半は貿易や金融などの経済的な議案がほとんどだったんだ。しかし会議の後半は各国首脳から定義される議案、しかもどうやらクロスベルの安全保障に関する話が出るらしい。
それは
安全保障ってことは軍事の話も入るってことか。
でも2年前に締結された不戦条約もありますよね。
あれはリベールの女王陛下が当時のクロスベルの危機的状況を抑えるために提案したものだ。レミフェリアは関わっていないし、何よりクロスベルそのものが不戦条約には関わっていない。その意味でそれとは別の新たな安全保障の枠組みが求められているのは確かでね。
確かにそれは祖父も懸念していました。ならクロスベルを交えた新たな条約を結べばいいのでは。
そうですよ。不戦条約と同じ国家間の争いを武力で解決するのを禁止するような枠組みを。
そうか、クロスベルは国家じゃない。帝国と共和国によって承認された自治州でしかない。
そう、それはつまり国際条約を締結できるような国家主権を持っていないということだ。経済的な協定は結べても対等な立場での条約は結べない。それが結果的にこの地の安全保障をひどく危うくさせてしまっているわけだ。
ややこしいがなんとなく分かってきたぜ。
すみません、ちょっといいですか。クロスベル以外にも自治州というのはあります。レマン自治州、オレド自治州、ノーザンブリア自治州。それらの自治州も同じように国際条約は結べないのですか。
いや、そんなことはない。確かにそれらの自治州もそれぞれの歴史的事情によって国家としては成立していないが、宗主国から移譲される形で同等の主権が認められている。
宗主国。
それらの自治州が決定的にクロスベルと異なる点、それは成立を承認したのがアルテリア報国ということなの。
アルテリア報国というと七王教会の総本山だったっけ。
ええ、国土は小さいけど宗教的な権威は持っているから。自治州や自由都市の多くはあそこに頼って成立しているの。
だがクロスベルは帝国と共和国に承認されて成立する自治州、いわば宗主国を2つも持っている形になっているんだ。
ええ、そしてそれが歴史的にさまざまなねじれと悲劇を生んだ。クロスベルに少しでも主権が認められればもう少し状況は変わるのでしょうけど、それを2大国が認めることは永遠にありえないでしょうね。
そんな。
ため息が出てしまいますね。
話を戻すが、どうやら宰相と大統領はそれぞれ安全保障に関する提案があるらしい。無論それは対等な条約を各国が結ぶというものではない。今頃議長や市長たちは警戒を強めているところだろうね。すまない、不安にさせてしまったようだな。まあマクダエル議長などはこのような状況は慣れっこだろう。それにディーター市長の方は何やら策があるようでね。
策ですか。
それはどういう？
いや、詳しい話は私も聞いていないんだが。
失礼します。特務支援課ロイド・バニングスです。
バニングス、こちらは記者会見が終わった。首脳たちは36階に引き上げたが、お前たちはどこにいる？
はい、34階の休憩室ですが、何かありましたか？
実はオズボーン宰相とロックスミス大統領からそれぞれ申し入れがあった。休憩時間中、お前たちと直接話がしてみたいそうだ。相手が相手だ。さすがに断ることもできん。休憩時間中に36階にある両首脳の部屋を訪ねるがいい。左翼の採用が大統領、右翼の採用が宰相の部屋だ。
待ってください。一体何がどうして？さすがに荷が重すぎますよ。
甘えるな、バニングス。両者の思惑を伺えるまたとない機会だろう。
わかりました。すぐに両首脳のところに向かいます。
いざという時はエリー城に頼れ。VIP相手は慣れているはずだ。話が終わったら報告に来い。
了解です。
ロイド、今のは？
おいおい、不穏なことを言ってやがらなかったか？
ああ。
Lloyd explained to the others that both Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith had requested a private audience with him.
へえ、マジかい？
どうやら冗談ではなさそうですね。
いやはや、驚いたな。どうやら思っていた以上に特務支援課の名前は知れ渡っているようだ。
いや、両首脳のスタッフにそれぞれ知り合いがいるんです。それで興味を持たれただけかもしれません。
なるほど、説はありそうだな。
だとしても断るわけにはいかないわね。
ああ、36階の左翼と右翼の採用の部屋だ。早速訪ねてみよう。
了解です。イエスさん。
あれは
そうですか。ルーシー先輩と。
ああ、この前レミフェリアに出張した時にばったりとな。なんとか逃げようとしたんだが、うんずかまっちまったよ。何発殴られたと思う？
一発も。代わりにしがみつかれて泣かれてしまったんじゃないですか？ルーシー先輩の気持ちはわかりますから。多分先輩が普段どれだけ危険なことをしているのか気づいたんじゃないかと思います。
女ってのはたまに恐ろしく鋭くなるからな。やりにくくて仕方ねえぜ。
自業自得ですね。懐かしいな。レオ先輩とも会っていませんし、いずれ同窓会とかしたいですよね。先輩、ダメですよ。そこはおお、見知らぬあたりでパーッと豪勢にやるかとか言ってくれないと。
一本取られたな。約束はできんが、ま、努力はしてみるさ。期待しないで待っててくれ。
わかりました。楽しみに待っています。それでは私はこれで失礼。
ああ、ジークのやつにもよろしく言っといてくれ。 やれやれ、ほんと成長してやがんな。さすがは次期女王陛下。あんたらもそう思わないか？
気づかれてたか。
すみません、立ち聞きするつもりはなかったんですが。
つい聞こえてしまって。でもエリーさん、すごく興味津々でしたね。ティオちゃん。
いやでも気になるぜ。一国のお姫様相手に随分お安くないじゃねえの。
ああ、学校の後輩ってだけだ。と言っても日曜学校じゃなくてジェニス王立学園ってところだが。
ジェニス王立学園、確かリベールにある有名な高等学校だったかな。
ええ、確かに留学生も多く受け入れているけど。
それじゃあ国費で留学されていたんですか？
いや、ポケットマネーさ。ギリアスのおっさんだな。そんじゃ俺もこれで失礼させてもらうぜ。ああ、そういやあんたらタヌキどもに呼ばれてるんだってな。どちらも一筋縄じゃいかないから、せいぜい気をつけとけよ。
あ、
相変わらず怪しさてんこ盛りな人ですね。
リベールの次期女王の先輩にあたる情報将校か。ますます興味深いね。
いずれにしても彼が鉄血宰相の配下として動いているのは確かだ。何を狙っているのか見極める必要がありそうだな。
Alright, why don't we stop it there? This is audap. You've been watching The Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure running on Nintendo Switch. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.